Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a Prank Kids deck profile for October of 2022. This deck was very good actually this year earlier in about the April-May format of this year. After Meow Mew got banned, which was essentially its one-card starter, the deck has not been played very much, but I still like to bring it to locals and surprise some people with what Prank Kids are still capable of. So in this video, I'm going to be going over my Prank Kids deck list, as well as demonstrating some combos for you guys. So stick around to the end of the video to see some Prank Kids combos. Alright then, so let's just jump right into the main deck list. Right off the bat, we have 3 Prank Kids Lampsies. I'm going to quickly go over the effects for anybody who is not aware. Lampsies is when he is linked or fusion material for a Prank Kids monster. You can inflict 500 damage to your opponent and special summon 1 Prank Kids in defense mode from your deck or hand to your field. Next off, Dropsies. All of the Prank Kids in this deck are played at 3, and they all have similar effects that when they're used as fusion or linked materials, they get a specific effect. So, Lampsies is 500 damage to your opponent, and Dropsies is gaining 1,000 life points for yourself. Next up, we have 3 Fansies. Fansies is probably the most important. These two are really good for time and late game. But Fansies is probably the most important for getting your combo up and running. His effect is that you can send any Prank Kids card from your deck to your graveyard and then special summon 1 of the Prank Kids. Next off, a nice Prank Kids edition that came in a little bit later, a few sets after the original 3. Prank Kids Roxy's has the same effect to special summon a Prank Kid from your deck or hand in defense mode, but he has the effect that he can do so by banishing 1 card from your hand and then drawing a card. So if you have a dead card in your hand, go ahead, banish it. You essentially just need a card to banish, and you get a card back, drawing a card, and then special summoning a Prank Kid. All right, so that is it for the Prank Kids lineup. Moving on, we have some more monsters, which are the Hand Trap lineup for this deck that I am running. 2 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and 2 Effect Veiler. I'm running a fairly small hand trap lineup for this list. I do not like to see too many hand traps in my starting hand. I like to see 1, maybe 2 at max. Although to get your full combo up and running for this deck, it is a 2 to 3 card combo. Either you need some sort of fusion cards such as Polymerization or Prank Kids Pandemonium, the archetype-specific fusion, and also 2 Prank Kids. So you need some way to fuse 2-card combo if you have instant fusion and a Prank Kid. So I don't like to see too many of these clogging up my starting hands, but they are nice to see in small portions throughout the game. Of course, Ash is overall really good. Ghost Ogre is a little bit niche in this meta, but it's still a nice pick. And then Effect Veiler, of course, is just Effect Veiler. It's pretty standard hand trap lineup. I know it's a little bit weird to be playing them each at 2, but I don't like seeing too many. Not for this deck. I play them in higher quantities in certain decks, lower quantities in certain decks as well. Next up, we are going to be playing 3 of the field spell Prank Kids Place and 1 Terraforming, essentially a 4th copy of our field spell. Prank Kids Place is an amazing field spell for the deck. That states whenever a Prank Kids monster... whenever you activate this card, you can add a Prank Kids monster from your deck to your hand, which is an amazing effect, essentially searching you any Prank Kids monster of your choice. And then it has 2 additional effects. One is that when any Prank Kids monster is fusion summoned, all of your monsters on the field, not just Prank Kids monsters, gain 500 attack. And whenever a Prank Kids monster is link summoned, all of your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack. And each of these effects can only be activated once per turn. So overall, a very good field spell. I like to play it at 3, essentially 4, because you are needing to see 2 Prank Kids monsters in your opening hand to go into your full combo. So essentially, these are 4 more copies of your Prank Kids monsters, since you get to add 1 from your deck to your hand when it is activated. Next up for the Prank Kids spells, we are running 3 Prank Kids Pandemonium, Pandemonium is a very, very important staple. It is effectively a searchable poly for the deck. You can add this from your deck to your hand, and it is a quick play polymerization card. The only downside is that you are locked into using Prank Kids monsters for the rest of the turn after you activate it, but it can be activated on your opponent's turn. It can be searched, and it can use monsters from the field or the hand as material. Moving on with more fusion cards that you like to see in your deck for your combos are 3 polymerization and 1 instant fusion. Instant fusion essentially is nutty, that's why it's at 1. It acts as a 2-card combo with any Prank Kids monster and an instant fusion, which is why you'd love to see it in your opening hand. And then 3 polymerization for obvious reasons, essentially just the non-searchable Pandemonium, but it does not lock you into Prank Kids, so you can go for some interesting other plays that I will show you later in this video. Moving on with the rest of the spells, we're playing 1 Prank Kids Pranks. I don't like this card very much. I know a lot of Prank Kids players do like it. Some play it at 1, some play it at 2. I think that 2, you see it too often. I think that 1, you see it the right amount as of drawing it in your hand, and it is also in the deck searchable for whenever you may need it. Essentially, this card can recycle any Prank Kids cards that you have in your graveyard 3 back into your deck in the end phase, and allows you to draw 1 card, so you can recycle if you're ever running low on Prank Kids monsters after special summoning a bunch of them throughout your combos, and then you can get them back and draw a card, and sets you up pretty nicely for your cards back into your deck and your hand for your next turn. Moving on, we have some draw power in the deck, which is much needed because it is a 3-card combo. We have 2 Pot of Desires and 1 Upstart. Pot of Desires is really good in this deck. Essentially just draw 2 cards, just pray that you don't banish all 3 of one Prank Kid monster, and Upstart, you don't really need to worry about the opponent gaining the 1,000 life points, since you are poking away at their life points for the entire duel with your Lampsies, and you are gaining 1,000 life points essentially every time you activate your own Dropsies. Moving on to some simple extenders and staples, we have 1 Call by the Grave, a 1-for-1, and a Monster Reborn. Call by is obvious, stop your opponent's hand traps and any graveyard heavy decks. Great card. 1-for-1 allows you to summon your Prank Kids Fansies from your deck. If you're ever missing out, you draw 1 too many hand traps. Essentially just gets you a free Prank Kids card on the field for your combos. Monster Reborn, it's just Monster Reborn. You have a very, very large graveyard in this deck. Very quickly, you come to see, and having an extender that you can get from your graveyard with all of the Prank Kids monsters, extra deck monsters effects that affect the game, with adding back Prank Kids, special summoning Prank Kids, searching, whatnot. Very good to get cards back from your graveyard. Now onto our trap lineup is very small, but we're running 2 Prank Kids Plan and 1 Solemn Strike, 1 Solemn Judgment. These cards are nice to see sometimes, not nice to see all the time, but you can really catch your opponent off guard with some of these sneaky trap cards. Then as for your Prank Kids Plan, this is a very important piece, although you don't want to see it all too much. I enjoy playing it at 2 in order to send it off of the Fansies, sometimes for your combo, sometimes for its graveyard effect. The effect of Prank Kids Plan is that it is essentially a trap card that allows you to link summon during your opponent's turn. You really like to do this. You like to set up all your basic Prank Kids, and then pass turn with your Prank Kids Plan and your Prank Kids Pandemonium set. Then you can flip the plan, summon out a Bow Wow Bark, or any other link monster that you may be needing at the time, and then you get 2 more Prank Kids back because you hadn't activated their effects yet, and then you have the exact same board plus a free link monster, and then you can flip your Pandemonium and get out your fusion plays. Okay, that does it for my main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. What is up, guys? We are back. This is the day after I recorded the first section of this video, because the video, while I was going through the extra deck yesterday, actually cut off on me, and when I went to go edit and then post the video, I realized, so I'm going to be going over the extra deck here in this video right now. I'll bring you guys the first cards. We are playing 2 Prank Kids Doodle Doodle Doo. This is the main starter. searcher and combo piece that you'll be needing for your link monsters in the deck. This card is really, really good as a link too, and it has the effect that if this card is link summoned, you can add one Prank Kids spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So it's an incredible searcher that you can add your archetype, Poly, the Prank Kids Pandemonium, as well as your field spell, Prank Kids Place, or your trap card, Prank Kids Plan from your deck to your hand. It also has the secondary effect. With the first effect, you will almost always be adding your Prank Kids Pandemonium, unless you used it already this turn, in which this is where the secondary effect comes in to add it back from your graveyard to your hand, as it has the effect that you contribute this card and then target 2 Prank Kids cards with different names in your graveyard except link monsters, and add them to your hand. So any Prank Kids cards, monsters that you need for your 3 Prank Kids monster lineup for the next turn, for fusion summoning from your hand, fusion summoning with your Pandemonium, you can add back with that effect or search, as well as any plan. Basically, your entire play that I'll get into later in the combo section is that you will send one with your fansies that you'll be able to search later, and then you'll be able to either add something that you used earlier that turn or any Prank Kids monsters that you may need for your 3. Moving on, next we are playing 2 Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark. I see this card played at 1. I completely disagree with this. I think this card needs to be played at 2. I really like to see 2 of this card in my extra deck because I go into it a fair amount. A really good effect that it has is that it is really good for setting up your big boards of Prank Kids monsters, because any Prank Kids monster that this card points to gains 1,000 attack. It also has a secondary effect that, as a quick effect during your opponent's turn, you contribute this card, then target 2 Prank Kids cards with different names in your graveyard except link monsters and add them to your hand. After that, it has a very overlooked third effect that any Prank Kids monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects until the end of this turn, after you activate the secondary quick effect of the Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark. This is a really good card for setting up your boards and recycling things. This will be the monster that you summon out with your combo every single time after you set your Prank Kids plan at the end of the turn during your turn, and then this during your opponent's main phase, you will be summoning this Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark to your field with your plan's effect. Moving on, we have our Link 4, our big boss Link monster of the deck, Prank Kids Rip Roaring Roaster. It's a 3,000 attack body, so it's pretty strong for Link 4, of course. It has the effect that is essentially a walking Heavy Storm Duster, or Harpy's Feather Duster. Has a quick effect that you contribute this card, destroy all spells and traps that your opponent controls. So basically, it's really good against any back row decks. You have any suspicions of anything that your opponent may be having in their back row, spells and trap cards, it can be wiped out with the Prank Kids Rip Roaring Roaster as a tribute effect. This card also has a secondary effect that if in your possession it is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card by battle or card effect, you can target 1 card in your graveyard. Doesn't need to be a spell or trap specifically, doesn't need to be a Prank Kids card specifically, doesn't need to be a monster specifically. Any card gets bounced back to your hand off of his effect if he is destroyed. So it's a very good card for floating into any other cards in your graveyard that you may need. Moving on to our fusion lineup of the deck. I'm running 3 Prank Kids Rocket Ride. This is the most important card in the entire deck. It is your combo starter, and it is your extender for the deck. It's a really nice card, just needing 2 Prank Kids monsters to fuse into, and it will be the thing that you will be fusing into on the first turn every single time with your 2 Prank Kids and your Polymerization or Pandemonium. The Prank Kids Rocket Ride's effect states that you can have this card lose 1,000 attack this turn, but it can attack directly for the rest of the turn. This is an irrelevant effect since you will basically just be using its secondary effect immediately after it is summoned every time. But it can come in each situations. The secondary effect is the main effect of the monster, and it is that you contribute this card and then target 2 Prank Kids cards that are non-fusion monsters with different names in your graveyard and special summon them. This is an amazing effect because after you use the 2 Prank Kids to fuse into him, you get 2 special summons back to your side of the field off of their effects after they hit the grave. Then you can use Rocket Ride's effect and then special summon them right back, so you have 4 monsters rather than the 1 or the 2. Moving on, we have 2 Prank Kids Weather Washer.
Prank Kids Weather Washer is another card like Bow Bark that sees a lot of play at 1. I think that it is a very good card to have at 2 because you like 1 for its on-field effect. If anything goes badly, you can always go into this card. It's a very reliable card. But you also have 1 as an instant fusion target, so you don't have to get rid of 1 of your rocket rides if you do go the instant fusion route in your opening hand. Prank Kids Weather Washer has the effect that if your Prank Kids monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So it's really good for your Prank Kids monsters getting in big attacks during your battle phase of your turn while it's sitting on the field. Basically sets you up for uninterrupted battle phases. It has a secondary effect like most of the other Prank Kids extra deck monsters. As a quick effect, its secondary effect states that during your opponent's turn, you contribute this card, then target 2 Prank Kids non-fusion monsters with different names in the graveyard and special summon them. Also, they cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. So basically, you are just using the quick effect to summon out 2 Prank Kids monsters from your grave, and they are impenetrable, indestructible monsters. If anything goes badly for you, you have 2 Prank Kids monsters guaranteed on your field for the next turn to hopefully be able to start back up your combo again with another fusion summon with your Rocket Ride or a Link summon with either of these 2 with your 2 Prank Kids that are indestructible. Moving on to the next card is our Prank Kids Battle Butler, and he is the big dog of the deck. He is the boss monster, and he requires 1 of each of the 3 main Prank Kids, Lampsies, Dropsies, and Fansies to summon. He's a very big body with 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense, and is basically the entire reason that you'd be playing the deck is to go into this card. He has effect as a quick effect that you contribute this card and destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So your Rip Roaring Roaster here is your spell and trap removal, and your Battle Butler is a walking Raigeki that wipes your opponent's entire board, basically. So it also has a secondary effect, much like the Link 4, that it floats into a card when it is destroyed in your possession, but this actually floats into a monster and special summons itself from the grave. That does it for our Prank Kids lineup for our extra deck. Moving on to, I have 3 extra cards that I like to play for consistency and for some extra plays that I will get into. I'm running 1 Nightmare Unicorn and 1 Nightmare Phoenix. These are just really good standard, kind of like run-of-the-mill cards. Everybody knows why you play these cards. Just basically removal, draw, co-links, just really good 2 standard, like, basic, not much to say cards. Always, some decks will always have a few extra deck slots open, and those are cards that everybody likes to squeeze in there for niche situations that they may be needed. And as for the final card of the extra deck, this is only a 14-card extra deck because I don't know what else to play as the final slot. But this is a very important card that you do see a lot in the deck, is your 1 copy of Totally Awesome. You can go into Totally Awesome fairly easily in the deck because of the special summoning power of the deck. You can get out many Prank Kids monsters, and one of those Prank Kids monsters happens to be a level 2 Aqua-type monster. So you can go into 2 Prank Kids Dropsies and go into your Totally Awesome pretty much for free in this deck, unless you have already used Prank Kids Pandemonium that turn, in which case you would be trapped into your Prank Kids lineup. So Totally Awesome, of course, everybody knows what Totally Awesome does. He's just a walking negate. You can also have your Weather Washer on the field or some Dropsies on the field that you can use themselves to bounce for the negate of Totally Awesome. And then Totally Awesome usually has 2200 attack, but with Prank Kids Place, because it gains 500 attack to any monster you control, not just Prank Kids monsters, by basically the end of 1, 2, 3 turns, this can go up to nearly 3000 attack or more pretty easily, actually. So Totally Awesome is a very awesome card to see in the deck. Totally. Okay, that does it for our extra deck and our main deck portions of the video. Next, I will be moving on to some combo tutorials. Alright guys, we are back and we're going into the first combo of the video. This is going to be a combo that requires any 2 Prank Kids monsters and a Prank Kids Pandemonium. This could be Dropsies, this could be Roxy's. Just keep in mind with Roxy's effect, you're going to need to be able to banish a card in order to activate its effect, draw 1, and then special. So let's start things off here as we would in a game. First off, we'll be activating our Prank Kids Pandemonium, fusing our Fansies and our Lampsies. Fansies effect will be sending any card, Prank Kids Spell or Trap, from the deck to the graveyard, and then he'll be special summoning out a Prank Kids monster from the deck or hand in defense mode. Next off, the Lampsies effect will activate, and you will be able to special summon the other Prank Kids that you haven't seen yet so far this turn. And he will inflict 500 burn damage to your opponent. Then you'll be able to special summon out the fusion summon of your Prank Kids Rocket Ride. Next off, you'll activate Rocket Ride's effect, sending himself to the grave, and special summoning the 2 Prank Kids that you used to summon out the Rocket Ride to begin with. Next off, you'll be linking, using the 2 Prank Kids that you specialed off of that effect. And that will allow you to link into your Doodle Doodle Doo. Here, your Dropsies will gain you 1,000 life points, and then you'll be able to special summon out the opposite of the duo that you just went through. I'll put that Roxy's right there. And then the Roxy's will be able to banish 1, draw 1, and then special summon out the Dropsies. Next off, you will be activating the effect of Prank Kids Doodle Doodle Doo. For the sake of what we've gone through already, we have our Prank Kids plan and our Prank Kids Pandemonium in our grave. So I'll be adding the Prank Kids Place just for some extra bonus attack points and a search right now from the deck, so you don't have to worry about adding back any of your Prank Kids. So you can add any of the Prank Kids that you would like. Right now, I guess we can say that we will add a Fansies. Then we'll have that in our hand for later. Next, the Prank Kids Doodle Doodle Doo second effect. We will send this from the field to the grave, and then add back our Pandemonium and our plan. Next off, we will be setting both the plan and the Pandemonium, and then we'll pass our turn, and this is what the end of the first turn's board with the Prank Kids deck will be looking like. As soon as your opponent goes into their main phase, you will activate your Prank Kids plan, and then say we can link off our Roxy's and our Fansies. You'll need another card to banish. Then we'll be able to link into our Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark. You will get 2 summons back. If you don't have a card to banish, you can just get 1. But for the sake of this, we'll say that you do have the cards, and just summon back the 2 that you just got rid of. Next off, we'll be flipping up our Prank Kids Pandemonium, and for the main part of the deck, fusing our Fansies, Dropsies, and Lampsies into our Prank Kids Battle Butler. So because of this, your opponent's monsters will have lost attack if they've summoned any monsters thus far, 500 for the Bow Wow Bark. And now all 3 of these will gain 500 attack off of the place because you just fusion summoned. So he'll be at 35, he'll be at 25, and he'll be at 2k. The Bow Wow Bark also gains the Battle Butler another 1,000 attack, so he'll be sitting at 45, and he'll be at 25. Then you'll have at least 1 Prank Kids card in your hand, and you'll have a full graveyard. You'll be able to activate the Bow Wow Bark effect, and then add back any 2 Prank Kids that you may need. Or you can leave them because it's a pretty good board. And this is what the end of your board will look like with a decent combo off of your Prank Kids deck. Alright guys, here we're going to be jumping right into the second combo of the Prank Kids deck profile for the day. This combo will be requiring 2 Prank Kids monsters, doesn't matter which ones, and 1 polymerization card. So jumping right into it, we're going to activate our Poly. Fusing our 2 Prank Kids, we'll get their effects, and then we'll be able to special summon the 2 Prank Kids that we have not seen thus far. As for what monster we'll be using the Poly to summon into, we'll be summoning our Rocket Ride. Nextly, immediately activate the Rocket Ride effect to bring back the 2 that you just used to go into the Rocket Ride, and then link off with the 2 that you summoned off of these 2's effects. You'll link into the Doodle Doodle Doo, and here is where you slightly differentiate from the last combo. The Roxy's will still be summoning back a Fansies, but the Fansies here will be not special summoning a Roxy's. Instead, it will be summoning a second copy of Dropsies. As well, you need to activate the effect of Fansies to send your Prank Kids plan, and you need to activate your effect of Doodle Doodle Doo here to add your Prank Kids Pandemonium from your deck to your hand. Next, you'll be activating Doodle-Doodle's effect, tributing himself, and adding back the plan, as well as the Roxy's. So you still have your Roxy's in hand. Right now, your hand is looking like Pandemonium, Plan, and your Roxy's. Then you'll be able to overlay into the Totally Awesome. The reason that we can go into Totally Awesome in this combo, but not the last, is that the last combo you were locked into Prank Kids monsters because of the effect of your Pandemonium. And here, because you use Poly, you can go into your Toad using 2 copies of your Dropsies. Next, you have your Roxy's in hand already, as well as your 2 Prank Kids. You'll be setting these 2, and then normal summoning your Roxy's, because you haven't done that yet this turn. Then you'll pass turn. This will be the end of your board for this turn. As soon as your opponent goes into their main phase, you'll be activating your Prank Kids plan. You'll need a card to banish, because you will be using 2 of these to summon out your Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark. Then you'll use this to summon a Dropsies from your deck. And you'll use this to summon a Lampsies. Next, your board so far is looking like Bow Wow Bark, Fansies, Lampsies, Dropsies, and Toad. You'll be able to flip this, fusion summoning the 3 Prank Kids that you now have on your board to go into your Prank Kids Battle Butler. So right now you have your Bow Wow Bark gaining the Battle Butler 4,000 or up to 4,000 from 3,000, gaining 1,000 attack from his effect. Then you have your Totally Awesome for Negate. This is a Walking Raigeki, and this is a boost to his attack. If you also have a Prank Kids Place in your hand, you are able to have this be at 25, this be at 45, and this be at 27. So as a whole, this is a very big board with negates, board wipe, and some extra attack points off of both of these cards. And this would be the board that you'd end up with in your opponent's main phase for the polymerization version of the Prank Kids combo. Alright guys, time to hop into our final combo of the deck, and this is the best combo in terms of consistency, although that may not be the case because Instant Fusion's at 1, but it is the only 2-card combo that you can effectively use with the current version of Prank Kids with Meow Mew Band. So, here we go. We're going to be activating our Instant Fusion. Going into, you have 3 of Rocket Ride, so you could go into a Rocket Ride here, but you can't really activate its effect. So I'll just go into a Weather Washer, because it's nice to also have this card in your graveyard for your graveyard accessibility to bring it back later in the game. Next off, you will be normal summoning your Fansies, and this time starting off with a Link Summon. We'll be linking off into our Doodle-Doodle-Doo. Doodle-Doodle-Doo's effect will activate to add us a Prank Kids Pandemonium, and Fansies effect will send our plan or our place to our graveyard, and special summon us a Prank Kid that we haven't seen thus far. There we go. Doodle-Doodle-Doo's effect can activate, adding back our 2 Prank Kids in our grave. We'll be able to set our Prank Kids plan. Activate our Poly. And go into our Rocket Ride. Dropsies effect will activate, gaining you 1,000 life points, and special summoning a Prank Kid you haven't seen. Then you'll be able to activate Rocket Ride. Going back into your Doodle-Doodle-Doo. Or just your Fansies and your Dropsies. Doesn't really matter because it ends up the same way anyways. You'll be able to special summon 1 off of... Yes, we already did that. Okay, so as of right now, we have our Prank Kids Pandemonium in hand, as well as our Prank Kids plan set. So if you set that, then we're able to activate the plan at the beginning of the next turn. Link off into our Bow Wow Bark. Summoning back the 2 Prank Kids we had just used. then fusing all 3 for our Battle Butler. So this is another way that you can end up with the board of Bow Wow Bark with Battle Butler below it. So it'll be at 4K. So it's a pretty good board. This is not necessarily like the complete combo. If you have Prank Kids Places in your hand or Terraformings, it can go a lot like larger. You can get potentially a bigger board, different fusion monsters out as well. In our graveyard right now, we have 2 copies of our Pandemonium. We have like 3 extra deck monsters that we can end up recycling, right? And a lot of Prank Kids. So there is a lot of leniency. We can activate our Bow Wow Bark's effect and then get back to Prank Kids. And then we can restart our combo all over again by linking, so on and so on. Gaining cards from our deck to our hand, whatnot. So those are 3 combos that are very basic for our Prank Kids deck with their playstyle. Special summoning more, going to the graveyard, being able to fish them back out of the grave, and so on and so forth. So those were 3 combo tutorials as well as a deck profile. I hope you guys really enjoyed. This was a bit of effort to make, but I'm very excited to be able to display a deck that I actually do have a lot of experience with playing, as well as like in locals, tournament settings, as well as testing a lot at home. So this is one of my favorite decks. I'm very happy that I was able to share it with you guys today. If you liked the video, please comment down below any deck profiles that you'd like to see next. I'm going to be posting a binder update as well very soon. I'm excited to be able to show you guys a bunch of other decks I have as well in the near future. Smash the like button if you have enjoyed, and if you want to see any more deck profiles, please leave a comment down below. If you are looking for any cards, I will be updating my binder, and I will be having a wants list as well in the description of that video, so we can potentially have some trades as well as me helping you guys out a little bit by showing you my deck profiles. So thank you guys for watching this video. I'm going to be posting more Yu-Gi-Oh videos in the future. Smash the like button, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.